CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Two former NHL stars in this country who were sexually abused by their junior hockey coach Graham James have been following the Sandusky case, and they say they want Canada to follow the U.S.'s lead on sentencing pedophiles. Graham James was given a 2-year sentence for sexually assaulting the hockey players when they were teens. Theo Fleury and Todd Holt both say that Canada should adopt the hardline approach for sexual predators as in the U.S. They blame the federal government for a lack of leadership. RCMP and Port Alberni are asking for your help tonight as they try to identify a suspect in a sexual assault. Police have released a composite sketch of a man wanted for the sex assault on a 17-year-old girl. It happened September 9th at the Hospitality Inn. RCMP say the teen was visiting Port Alberni for the fall fair. They say a man broke into her hotel room and sexually assaulted her, threatened to kill her if she screamed for help. Here's a composite sketch of the man. If you recognize him, you're asked to contact Port Alberni RCMP. The Vancouver Island Health Authority is warning you tonight to check your freezer again for any beef that might contain E. coli contamination. The warning comes after confirmation of an Nanaimo man infected with a specific strain of E. coli that has been linked to the massive beef recall from the XL Foods plant in Brooks, Alberta. VHA says the man has fully recovered and all of the contaminated meat is past its expiration date and has been removed from store shelves. However, VHA is concerned that some of the recalled meat could still be sitting in Vancouver Island freezers.
One would assume that most people should have consumed or gotten rid of product that they had in their fridge, but it's worth checking in the fridge. More importantly, though, is that many of us purchase meat, put it in the freezer. I would suggest that anyone take a look at all the beef that they've got in their freezer and then go and check against those recall lists. And if it has been recalled, don't consume it. Take it back to your place where you purchased it from.
Inspectors with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency went inside the XL plant in Alberta today. They were making sure that the company has dealt with the cause of the E. coli outbreak, first detected 5 weeks ago. So far, 11 people from 4 provinces have been infected by the tainted meat. Other consumer news tonight, a high chair recall that your family should know about. If you are using the Graco classic wooden high chair in your home, there is a chance that your child could become injured as a result. There have been 58 reports of the seats loosening or detaching and 9 reports of injuries, including bumps and bruises, and in one Canadian case, a concussion for a child. The chairs were sold at the Babies R Us stores and online through Walmart and Target. And were sold until the middle of 2010, December of that year. If you have one of these chairs, you should stop using it immediately and contact Graco for a free repair kit. Camosun College has opened the doors to Vancouver Island's first medical radiography technology lab. The lab opened at the Lansdowne campus this morning, officially, ready for students who have enrolled in a new 2-year program. The state-of-the-art training facilities include new X-ray systems, and the Vancouver Island Health Authority says the lab allows Vancouver Islanders to train for good jobs in the medical profession in their own hometown.
Mostly their clinical placements would happen in the Lower Mainland, so often the students would get used to a hospital where they trained and end up employed there. So this is an opportunity for local students to train, work, and have their clinical experience in Vancouver Island. So it's important that we have this program here and have a full workforce. We've had some challenges in the past with finding staff to work in our hospitals and clinics, and this is just a wonderful opportunity to have the students homegrown and here on the island.
There are 16 students currently enrolled in the program. The new curriculum was developed in collaboration with BCIT and the College of New Caledonia in Prince George. Students say they're thrilled to train with some of the newest equipment that is in the field without having to say goodbye to Greater Victoria.
Leaving the island was definitely an option because when I first started looking into it, BCIT was the only offering for this program, so it's really exciting to be able to stay in Victoria on Vancouver Island and study for this program.
No, I heard about it and I held off on BCIT until maybe a week before this program was finally announced. It was definitely coming here. So.
But were you contemplating having to leave the island, or?
I was, but I was really hoping not to.
When these Camosun students graduate, they will be qualified as X-ray technicians. Now, some students in the Capital Region received a special gift today, one that keeps on giving. The grade 2 and 3 students from South Park Elementary School gathered this morning to hear the first reading of Island Santa. The Children's Health Foundation of Vancouver Island published the book to teach children the importance of philanthropy. The story is based on a young boy who island hops on the Santa boat to the Gulf Islands, giving gifts to children in need.
The book inspired me, and what I thought was that when they went around and when his little sister was in the hospital, I know how he felt because I was in the hospital too once.
Really important that a new generation gets the spirit of giving, and so they understand, and the story tells them about giving, about the life of this little boy helping others, and also the connection between Carrie Norgard's philanthropy and the philanthropy of Janice Edroff throughout the ages. So it gives kids a chance to understand it because they will be our philanthropists of tomorrow.
And Janice Edroff was on hand for the debut of the storybook today. The message will be spread to thousands of children as it is shared in classrooms up and down Vancouver Island. And every child who stays at Janice Place will also receive a copy. Hearings on the Northern Gateway pipeline came back to BC today and received a chilly reception. First Nations and conservationists demonstrated in Prince George as the federal panel opened the latest phase of the hearings into the proposed pipeline. The panel discussed the plan to ship oil from northern Alberta to a tanker port in Kitimat. Protesters say the First Nations do not want the project in their traditional territories or in BC coastal waters. If the project is approved, First Nations say they may take their fight to court. Well, this weather means that the fire season in British Columbia is stretching well into the fall, and so is the cost of battling the flames. The season isn't over yet, and so far it has cost $146 million in BC. Last year was a light year. We spent only $90 million on forest fires. Fire crews have responded to 36 new wildfires just since Thursday, and a dozen of those were on Vancouver Island. About 1,600 wildfires have scorched 900 square kilometers of BC so far this year. Staff and councillors at Victoria City Hall marked the start of Fire Prevention Week today with a drill. The alarm went off and the people in City Hall spilled out of their offices and away from their desks out onto the sidewalk as firefighters arrived to secure the building. It was only a test, but the fire crews say it's an important one, reminding us to be prepared for an emergency and to plan your escape route.
Message from the NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, is have two ways out. The two ways out is a component of an exit drill in the home, again, which is a combination of a bunch of things that are engineered or thought preventative measures that can prevent you being injured in a fire, hopefully. And that's, again, sleeping with your bedroom door closed, having a working smoke alarm, having two ways out, and having a meeting place.
Firefighters say it is also important to check the batteries in your smoke detectors once a month, not just twice a year, and to check the detector itself. Most of them last about 10 years.